Welcome back. You're still watching the SABC's Prime News. Now, one of the big stories, of course, that we've been having for you this week has been the elections that have been taking place in Kenya, and this has been a close election. As people had predicted, it was too close to call, but as the results have started to come through, it seems that the incumbent president, Uhuru Kenyatta's lead is a little bit more than had been anticipated. The opposition leader, Raila Odinga, who's part of a grand coalition, has already started challenging those results, claiming that the IEC's electronic machines have been compromised. And so there are concerns and fears, given the history of post-election violence in Kenya, that there may be an escalation or something might spark some violence in the country. So we're busy monitoring the events there for you to try and find out exactly what the situation is on the ground. But Kisumu has been already identified as one of the areas that there was a bit of a commotion earlier during the day. But as I said, we're trying to get hold of Aldrin Sampear, who's in Kenya, to give us an update on what he has seen and what he's heard in the country. So Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, those are the only two really. The other candidates, 5 of them I believe, completely far out of the equation. I don't think that any one of them has actually managed to get beyond 1% of the vote so far. And so it is a two-horse race, as it's been for the last number of elections. I think Raila Odinga, this is probably his 3rd attempt to become president of Kenya, but certainly has not looking great for him at this stage. But let's see if we can try and cross now to Kenya and see if Aldrin is with us. Aldrin, a very good evening to you. Jambo, give us an update of where we are at this time.
Well, Jumbo Peter, it's not so great here in Kenya as it stands at the moment. We are right now in Nairobi, the city center, and you know, round about this time, it's 7 p.m., it's 20 past 7 rather, here in Nairobi, and this is normally a city that's busy, hustling and bustling, but since tensions have been brewing, stores have been shut down, and as you can see, the streets behind me quite very empty at this point, and this came after the announcement by NASA, the National Super Alliance, that they reject the provisional results that have been displayed by the IEBC. They say that the system of the IEBC has been manipulated. They believe that the numbers have been manipulated. They believe that the system rather has been hacked. NASA made a correlation between their own telecenter's number, saying that the telecenter that they have indicate that it's Raila Odinga who's winning these elections, while the IEBC's teles show that actually, in actual fact, it is Uhuru Kenyatta. And those numbers as it stands at this moment, 7.5 million votes that Uhuru Kenyatta has secured so far, while Raila Odinga is trailing behind at about 6.5 million of those votes. So the margins are quite large, or quite big at this point. However, though, NASA is quite clear that they reject these results, and they said they will raise these issues with the IEBC. The IEBC said they will look into these claims that the system has been hacked into, and the NASA saying that Chris Msando, the IT head of the IEBC, who was murdered about a week ago, that it was his ID that was used to hack into the system.
Aldrin, just explain to us, my understanding is that results are collected at the site itself, then that same number is taken to another form, and then from that form it goes yet to another form, and that this happens about 3 times. If that's the case, where could the hack have taken place? Because you've got these different points of checking.
Well, the system seems to be quite tight. It seems to be tamper-proof as it stands. You have what they call it the 34A form. That's a form that is filled in with all the results at the polling station level, and then that form then moves on to the constituency level, where all those numbers from the polling stations around that constituency are then correlated, put together, and then that forms then it becomes Form 34B. Form 34B are then all sent to the National Tallying Center, where the IEBC officials are sitting there to ensure that these numbers come together and then display these numbers on the screen. NASA is saying that in between Form 34B and Form 34C, that the system could have been hacked, because remember that they're using the electronic system to send through these results. The IEBC has now decided to release hard copies via the media, via social media, hard copies of all these forms, 34A as well as 34B, to show these results that have been signed off. And remember that at every level, party agents are also involved. And the question that was raised with Raila Odinga is that why are you only raising this issue right now? Why didn't your party agents raise this issue as soon as yesterday already?
All right, Aldrin, that's where we're going to have to leave it. That's Aldrin Sampear in downtown Nairobi, giving us an update on the situation in the country. Those results will continue to be questioned, I guess, but we'll get back to that later.